Are you struggling on your content strategy and workflow method? Stick around. We got a lot of amazing stuff. This is a longer episode, so bring some popcorn and bring a notepad. Let's go. Hey folks, welcome back to Podmentorspace podcast. And in this episode, it's going to be an exciting one because I will be revealing my content strategies and content workflow strategies that help me create so much work, a lot of content, and I'm still as calm as possible. So it's kind of weird. But again, this content strategy might help you or might not help you, but at least it can give you an idea to help elevate you. That's my job. But before we get into the meat and bones of this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Spotify, guys, I love you guys. So if you're also looking for a specific answer to your solution, timestamps are everywhere. Just don't hesitate to click them. That's on YouTube, not on Spotify. So let's get into this. So now, first of all, my inspiration for this for my first one is the content matrix. This inspiration came from Vanessa Lau. I will be posting her episode in the description on Spotify, and then I'll put it on the card on YouTube. So Vanessa Lau came up with this concept called content matrix, where she takes content pillars on one side and content topics that you can build, and basically that's how you can create a content matrix out of any niche. Basically, even if you're a generic niche or a specific niche, this content matrix can take your content creation to the next level. And the reason why I love it so much is it really streamlines all the possible futures that you can come up with. By the way, if you're looking for the visual, just to get you an idea, go to my blog, again, Spotify, YouTube. So in this concept, just to give you a rundown of what Vanessa Lau, so that you don't need to go to the video purposely, is this. I'll just give you an idea of what it is. So basically, you have content pillars on your columns, and then on your rows you have topics on what the content pillars is. So Rajiv, you might be wondering, what the hell is content pillars? Content pillars are topics that you are passionate about. So let's say let's take Vanessa Lau's subject for example. So she talks about content creation, Instagram, YouTube, influencer, all that stuff. So those are content pillars. What I mean, Instagram, YouTube, basically, what all that stuff. So you put that in the column section, and then on the rows are the topics that you can build out of the content pillars. So what do I mean by that, again, is that you can get ideas like how-tos, unpopular opinions, top 10, listicles. It goes on and on and on. The more rows that you build, the more content you can actually get from one, let's say Instagram or YouTube or anything for that matter. That's where you can build a lot of stuff. So content matrix. Thank you so much, Vanessa Lau, for this idea. I love you. If you're watching this, I love you so much. So that one, content matrix. Now I want to go from content matrix to content bank. So content bank is just an easy one. Basically, you have a list of ideas from research that you've gotten from probably research from Reddit or research from Twitter or conversation or stuff that you get online that you can probably put your twist on it. Put it on a content bank list. Again, photos on the blog. So basically, you put that stuff into the content bank and stuff as much as you can. Do not be limited to 50, all that stuff, because the more content you have on your content bank can set you 4, 5, 10 years so that you don't need to overthink it. And when it comes to putting ideas, I don't think you need to have a schedule. Whatever hits your head at the moment, get an Excel sheet, put it on your app, then put it on the list, and then move on, and then create it when you have the chance. So content bank. And one thing I like about my content bank is I put a twist on it. So I have the content bank on one side, and then on the rows again, I put what type of content, what content types will I execute this. So meaning, what do you mean by content type? So it can either be an episode, it can be a non-episode like a motivation clip or something, or it can be a photo episode, or it can be, a lot. So basically, it opens up the potential of you not limiting yourself to just one micro or macro content. So you have all that stuff, all that good stuff. So yeah, and so you have content matrix, you have content bank. Now let's get into some of the interesting workflow strategies. So of course, the best workflow strategy that I implement is a two-type system. It is the macro to micro and micro to macro. So I remember, I think I spoke about this strategy before in one of my previous episodes. I'm just going to go dig deep into this one. So macro to micro is, simply put, taking a big piece of content, long form blog, and then converting it into micro. So how does this work in podcast? So let's say you make a podcast episode and then you decide to actually create reels. So now once you finish the reels, you can send those reels out. But here's the kicker. It doesn't have to be just because you have a macro episode and that's reels, you're set. No. You want to go deep? Convert those reels into quotes. Convert those quotes into memes. It goes on and on. This is basically a Gary Vaynerchuk style, where you take a full vlog or full episode, go down until you get the micro of each content. Sounds easy? Not really. It's not really. And another strategy is going from micro to macro. This is going opposite now. So basically, if you have an idea, a spur of the moment idea on a subject within your niche, you take that short micro and then you make more of those and split them apart. And then if you can combine them, let's say you have five ideas, you can combine them, compile them into photo or carousel, and then go up. Then you can build a macro if it's plausible based on your niche. So those are the two strategies. What I do is I mix them a lot, because there will be days that I would probably be dry of ideas. I actually need micro content to compensate for those dry days, meaning, let's say, during my schedule, let's say my weekdays, I don't have much content. Let's say I already released tons of content on the previous week 1. Week 2, I don't have much content. So instead of just thinking of freaking out, I can come up with micro content from my content bank, put that on that week, and then keep consistently doing all this and have a flow, have a pattern. You don't need to be so perfect. It's you can create and experiment with a lot of ideas that you can do with the micro macro strategy, as long as you know which one is working and how you can implement that into your content. So I hope that helps. And then now let us look at my favorite part, which is kind of a little bit exhausting to do, but it's always fun to experiment with it. This is called Content Blast. So Content Blast, what the hell do I mean by Content Blast? I have tons and tons of volume of content. If you actually look at my content, the numbers of content that I create from not just my blog or my podcast or any of that stuff, I have tons. From the micro itself, I convert a reel into a photo post, and then I have memes. I have tons of ideas. So in order for that to happen, of course, this is where scheduling comes into play. I do a content blast, especially during the weekends, where I put 3 reels from the bi-weekly episodes. I split them 3 within the weekend, Saturday, Sunday 3, and I make sure I limit them to only 12, because once that 12 is done, I get another week and another week and another week. That's how I do my content blast. So it's fun because you can bulk create, and then you don't need to overthink it. You just need to think of a title, think of a caption. If there's something that resonates that you want to convert into a photo post, then go for it. But for me, Reels Enough is good for me because I have a lot of things going on. So yeah, Content Blast, go for it if it's something that you guys want to do. And if just a recommendation, when you're doing Content Blast, please um, make sure that when you're scheduling content on a Content Blast, you have to make sure that your content are 5 hours or longer apart, because let's say you have 2 posts in a week or 3 posts in a week, you have to make sure that there's a space between so that people can digest one piece of content in not 2 hours, so that at least you have less problems in your hand. So that is my suggestion if you guys are going to do it Content Blast. So now let's go into marketing. There are two techniques that I do. One is the fishnet method, which I personally call it fishnet method, and I call the fishing method, which is using a reel and a hook and everything. So let me first go to fishnet method. Fishnet method is casting the net into the ocean, and the net is a metaphor for your content. So you cast a net, and then don't expect it to be a massive a massive flow of fish, because casting a net itself will not guarantee you that. I'm sure you would agree with me. But what I can agree is, what probably you and I can agree with, is that you may catch one or two or three based on where your net is casted on. Same goes with marketing. Basically, when you're marketing your content, you're casting a wide net of ideas and you're throwing it out in many ways. This goes in short form, micro, macro, it all goes that way. And then when you get a response, let's say like dislikes, upvotes, all this stuff, that is a reason for you to build more into that, double down, and then create more content around that specific subject. That is where you can actually win, using a negative as a form of positive. So that's how you do. And the fishnet method, it works for generic topics. This is not the niche topic. So if you have a generic topic and you want to cast the net, go ahead, cast the net, and expect a lot of feedback and a lot of reactions based on the data that you get. Learning analytics will deep dive into that later on. So now, once you have the fishnet method done, that's where you can develop more ideas and more content ideas to your content bank, content matrix. Boom. So it goes back, the flow goes back. And now let's talk about fishing method. One of my personal favorites is fishing method is a little bit more harder. So if fishnet is sending it out, fishing is more on digging deep into someone's personal problems, and this is more of like an interesting way to build relationship with your ideal customer. You have to ask them what are their pain points and then how you can build content out of this. So this is more like a personal take of marketing. And I've been experimenting this on Reddit and I love it. Basically, you connect with someone, ask them what their problems are, how you can solve their... Don't think about the solutions in your head, and then that's how you fish a person, and then you can reel in and you can engage. Basically, this is more on a 1v1, but generic is more on 1/100 or a million. So fishing method, that is the purpose of that is to get engaged content, get engaging conversations, get into the deep within the niche that you're getting into, and that would set you apart. So these are I know this is a long episode, so forgive me. At least you guys have timestamps. So this is my workflow for 2024 ever since I've started, and I don't think I'm gonna stop. I'll probably evolve the ideas and see where I can take it. But for now, if you found this episode helpful for your content idea, and if you have questions and you want me to dig deep on one specific, I don't mind creating a content for that, and let's engage in the comment section. So I hope you found this video inspirational, and I guess good luck, guys, when you get creating your content. Upcoming 2025, a lot of work to do. So with that in mind, cheers, folks, and I'll see you in the next episode.